Because your territory, fundamentally, isn't the world, not the natural, objective world. You want to stay as far away from that thing as you possibly can. Your territory is that circle of people with whom you spend 90% of your time. And so if you're a chimp, for example, or some other kind of monkey, highly social, what do you do all day? You sleep, you eat, you chew leaves if you're a chimp, and you groom other chimps. Like, it's constant social interaction, and you're jockeying for position in the dominance hierarchy, like Mean Girls in that movie, you know. And you're mapping out the social territory, knowing who's who and what's what, and then trying to get up somewhere near the top. And that's your environment. That's your environment. And so your world is that social, natural circle, which is a four-dimensional territory because it's, you know, it's got length, width, and height, plus it stretches across time. So it's this transforming natural entity. And then inside that, there's a pyramid. And the pyramid is made out of all the primates that you interact with. And that's the world. A circle with a pyramid on it. Now, I'll give you a vision. This is a vision I had once when I was trying to figure this stuff out. Okay, so what is the world? So, imagine that there's a field in front of you that stretches as far as you can see. Okay, and then you're flying above it. And what you see everywhere are these pyramids. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that they're like skyscrapers made out of glass. There's tiers in them. And you fly down, and one's here, and some of them overlap, and some of them are really big, and some of them are small, and but they're just everywhere. And you're flying around above them, and you fly close enough to look inside, and what you see inside them are people all packed together, trying to scramble up to the top. And that's the world. That's the reality. And the funny thing is that you could be in one of those pyramids clambering away to the top, or you can be flying above it. Those are your options. And if you have to choose, you should be flying above it. And so the relationship between the self and the ego avatar is the same as the relationship between the thing that is flying above and the thing that's within one of those pyramids trying to scramble to the top. You know, you say, well, I'm going to get to the top. Top of what? Well, there's 100 tops, there's 200 tops. And then you might say, is there anything above the top? Well, there is. There's this part of you that isn't entrapped within that particular system and that can move from place to place. If you look at Egyptian mythology, so you know, you see on the back of the American dollar bill, that's a symbol of value, right? Okay, so what's the pyramid? There's a pyramid on it, right? What's the top of the pyramid? It's a triangle. It's separate from the pyramid. There's an eye inside it. That's because the top of the pyramid is an eye, and it's separate from the pyramid. And what that means, fundamentally, is that the thing that transcends the structure is attention, voluntary attention. Now, the Egyptians worshipped voluntary attention in the form of Horus, because he was a god, right, Horus. And I'll tell you about Horus in detail. But one of Horus's avatars was the falcon. And the reason for that is falcons can really, 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 really see. And they fly around, and so they're like the king's eyes, like the little bird Zazu in The Lion King, right? He was the king's eyes, the thing that flies around above. And he was a particular enemy of Scar. Remember, Scar eats him at the beginning and then spits him out. And the reason that the king's eyes is an enemy of Scar is because the king's eyes can see what he is, right? And he's the eternal force that works to disrupt the kingdom and bring everything into ruin. Classic myth, partly accounting for why that was the largest selling, highest grossing cartoon in Disney history, right? They got the mythology pretty right. So, okay.